In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to render out of After Effects. So here I have a project. I've been working on this 90s style kind of intro little card here for a show called Hello. Basically what it does is it fades on, comes in like that, hello, fades out, and then we can go into our programming. Very simple kind of a thing. So I'm going to show you a couple things about rendering. First thing is we need to know exactly what are we rendering. So if I look at this entire composition here, I can look at the full composition by using this top line right here, this top gray bar, and I can take these little blue sections right here and I can zoom in. Notice as I get closer here, it starts to zoom in. Nothing's changing. It's just kind of like getting a tighter look at some things. So I'm going to bring it all the way out, and we're going to see here that this is 30 seconds long. I can also bring this one in like this, so I can, and I can move it left to right as well. So kind of can customize how close you are and zoomed in to the timeline. This thicker area right here is going to be the area that we actually use for our rendering. So if you notice here as I'm playing, my animation's already done, and this is just going on forever. I don't know if I really want to render all of this because I'm just going to bring it into Premiere and have it fade into the program that I'm going to be working on. So I might want it to only be about 3 seconds long. So what I can do is I can kind of do the same thing. Just come over here and grab one of these handles and just drag it to where I want it to be. And now you'll see that when we play it, it just rotates and goes around that circle, around that area right there. So this is the renderable work area that we're going to be working with. Sometimes you're like, hey, I'm only going to be working on these 3 seconds. I don't really care about all this other stuff. Well, we can easily come in and just do this. And now our working area is the size of our timeline. Or we can right click in this gray and we can say trim comp to work area. And once we do that, it kind of just cuts all that stuff off for us. So this allows us to work and allows us to make sure that we're going to have the render that we want to have in the right time frames and the right frame length that we want. So to render, we're going to go up to File, Export, and we have this Add to Media Encoder at the top. It's kind of annoying that that's at the top and not the render queue, but for our purposes, we're going to use the render queue. We're going to render inside of After Effects, not going out to Media Encoder. You're welcome to look that up on your own. It's a powerful tool if you do a lot of rendering. But just for this simple task, we're going to go to Add to Render Queue. Soon as we do this, you'll notice that immediately down here in our timeline, we got this new interface. It's actually a brand new tab. We can go back to our tab here and work. I can go to another example here that I was creating a tutorial on. I can close that. I can go to my render queue. I can close that. Oh no, where'd it go? File, Export, Render Queue. Okay. We can also use our, we have some shortcuts. So Command M will bring us back here into the render queue. Now, it's one of those weird ones that if you look up here, you don't see it. And I think back in the day, it was called Make Movie, and that's why Command M or Control M, depending on what operating system you have, will do that. But notice what we did is when I clicked on Send Export to Render Queue, and I used that Command M, now I have 3 versions of this. So be careful that if you close it and start pushing those buttons a lot, you might make a lot of different renders. That's okay, because in this case, we can just grab one and hit the delete key. And another one, hit the delete key, and we are good to go from right here. There's not a whole lot to know about what's on here, but there are some settings that we want to work with inside of each one of these menus. Now you can click down these little carrots and you can click some of these settings here. I've never in my life, I've learned these, but I've never in my life used anything other than best settings, mostly because it's just fast enough. Computers are getting quick enough, but you're welcome to do current or draft settings if you need to for larger projects. Logs, if you want to have any log, if there's any errors, I leave that alone at errors only. Really, the only 2 spots I ever really work with are going to be the output mode, or output module, and the output to area. You can still click on the little down arrow here, and you can get a lot of these presets, or you can click the actual word itself and bring up this dialog right here. And this gives you a lot more options. Here at the top, we can choose our format, whether you want to do a QuickTime or an H.264, maybe an H.265 if your machine supports it. There's a lot in here: AIF, JPEG sequences, TIFF sequences. If you want to just do audio and do a WAV or an MP3, you can. For the most part, for our class, you're going to pick H.264. Okay? You're going to leave really much everything else just kind of the same. Just choose H.264 and click OK. Now, where do we want this to go? Notice first it says H.264, so we know we're good. And we might want this to go onto our desktop. We might want it to go into our external hard drive or somewhere else inside of our computer. So under Output To, if you hold down that little button here, it's just going to put the name of the project that you're working with. So maybe like folder and name. Doesn't really tell us where it's going to go. So we have to actually click it again, and it's going to bring up the, hey, let's save this somewhere folder. In my case, I'm going to put it in my desktop in my recycle folder here, and I'm going to click save. And we'll see here that nothing really changed, but it'll go there. Once I'm ready to go, I'll click render. It's going to go through the process. We're going to hear that sound that everyone who works inside of After Effects will become very familiar with. And we'll see here that once I bring this over, that we now have the, oh cool, it moves _2, and now I have my object inside of there. So that is the basics of rendering inside of After Effects, basically what you need to know for this class. And I look forward to seeing your projects as you create them. Thanks.